Chop up the soul, Kanye. Set on his goals, Kanye. I hate the new Kanye. The bad mood, Kanye. The always rude, Kanye. Spazzing the news, Kanye. I'm just a sweet Kanye. Chop up the beast, Kanye. I gotta say, at that time I like to meet Kanye. See, I invented Kanye. It wasn't any Kanye. And now I look around and there's so many Kanyes. I used to love Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I even had the pink polo. I thought I was Kanye. Whatever Kanye made a song about Kanye. Call him Mr. Old Kanye. But after so Kanye, that's all it was, Kanye. We still love Kanye. And I love you like Kanye loves Kanye. Kanye, shape on the gold, Kanye, chop up the soul, Kanye, set on his goals, Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood, Kanye, the always rude Kanye, spazzing the news, Kanye. I'm just a sweet Kanye, chop up the beast, Kanye. I gotta say, at that time I like to meet Kanye. See, I invented Kanye, it wasn't any Kanye, and now I look around and there's so many Kanyes. I used to love Kanye, I used to love Kanye. I even had the pink polo. I thought I was Kanye. Whatever Kanye made a song about Kanye. Call him Mr. Old Kanye. But after so Kanye, that's all it was, Kanye. We still love Kanye. And I love you like Kanye loves Kanye. You love Kanye, shape on the gold, Kanye, chop up the soul, Kanye, set on his goals, Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood, Kanye, the always rude Kanye, spazzing the news, Kanye. I'm just a sweet Kanye, chop up the beast, Kanye. I gotta say, at that time I like to meet Kanye. See, I invented Kanye, it wasn't any Kanye, and now I look around and there's so many Kanyes. I used to love Kanye, I used to love Kanye. I even had the pink polo. I thought I was Kanye. Whatever Kanye made a song about Kanye. Call him Mr. Old Kanye. But after so Kanye, that's all it was, Kanye. We still love Kanye. And I love you like Kanye loves Kanye. See, I invented Kanye. It wasn't any Kanye. And now I look around and there's so many Kanyes. I used to love Kanye. I used to love Kanye. I even had the pink polo. I thought I was Kanye. Whatever Kanye made a song about Kanye. Call him Mr. Old Kanye. But after so Kanye, that's all it was, Kanye. We still love Kanye. And I love you like Kanye loves Kanye.
Hey, everybody. This is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very first history teacher. So glad to see y'all this evening. How are y'all doing? Normally I come on a Tuesday night or sometimes Thursday. And I wanted to come on tonight because this has really been on my mind all day. I woke up. Shout out to the Thais report outside community wall. Kanye West has, or Ye as he's called, has apologized to George Floyd's family because now he knows what it's like to have someone on his neck. Now, if I'm wrong, hey, doing great. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, teacher preacher. So glad you can be here. I have to admit though, I was a little bit down today, but I've been trying to push through. Do some things around here. But this infuriated me. Just. And on top of that, reading that Elon Musk, before he, I guess, put the dot on, wrote his name that, hey, he officially owns Twitter, that Kanye got his Twitter back. Elon Musk another time. Hey, Andrew, please like, share, subscribe. And I'm just, and then I'm still seeing other content creators, which is their right. I never know names. Looking at their titles and like looking at their, let's go in for a minute, a little bit less than that, and listen to their chat, and like they are still defending him. And I read a really good article. I'm going to share that with you. And someone and Schuler King, I shared on my community wall. I also shared DL Hughley, who also said something very profound and wise. I feel like sometimes comedians they are able to they're able to say things that some of us can't. Okay. And I just have a problem with Kanye saying, "Oh, I know what it's like to have someone on my neck because he lost well, let's see what he lost." Okay. Well, he lost his Twitter for a while. He's got it back. Well, let's really go back. You lost your wife. Let's really go back. You lost your wife because of your behavior. Then you lost Twitter. Then you lost Chase Bank said they didn't want to bank with you no more. Your bank fired you? Who does that? Like, usually I've heard of banks like canceling your account if like you're in the negative. Like, dude, you had $150 million in there. Then the Chase Bank kicked you out. Your lawyer, what's her name? Vanessa Marquez? Vanessa something? Vanessa Vasquez. The same one that defended Johnny Depp in his Amber Heard trial this past year. She fired you because you're not listening to her. She's trying to keep you out of jail. Keep you out of litigation. Okay? Then you dared, you went on all these programs saying anti-Semitic things, double down on it. Double down on George Floyd comments. Then you lost your dare say, "Oh, I can say that y'all want. I dare Adidas to drop me." Well, Adidas dropped you. They dropped you. And I think I read somewhere else that some other brands are like refusing to. Oh, you almost lost your school. That's named after your mama in Chicago. They got a letter was sent out to the parents saying, "Oh, the school's gonna be closed." Then somehow, within 24 hours, sent out another email saying, "Hey, we're reopened. We're still going to be up and running." It's $15,000 a year, I believe, because the schools, some of the kids are there. They wear uniforms. They have the best of everything. They have some of the rich Black entertainers have sponsored a lot of the kids for being there. You almost had a school shut down because of your action. And by the way, one of the teachers at that school was Jewish. She quit after those anti-Semitic comments, and I don't blame her. Do you not see the ramification? Your students lost a teacher because of what you said. There is a teacher shortage. Okay? And to have a teacher during a shortage means a whole lot. They have been with those kids. I don't know how many. I think the school's been open, 2 years? I don't know how long that lady has been there. But now that you move from $2 billion worth status down to what $1 billion, $500,000. Now you know what it feels like. Oh, you got kicked out of the Skechers showing up unannounced. Like they were just gonna open the doors because you were Kanye. They got a contact number and an address and a phone number. You call and say, "Hey, who in HR can I schedule a office meeting with, hey, Miss LB. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, but you say you know what it's like. Sir, I need you to shut the fuck up and go lay down. I do.
Go lay down.
Go lay down. Go lay down. And I'm tired of Black people. I'm saying Black folks now. So we want to talk about, some people want to talk about on code. Boy, you are in front of the LED light. Go lay down. You go lay down on the couch. Go over there. Go over there. Go. Okay. You say, oh, he lost his mama. He ain't been the same. I can attest that. I lost my mama. I lost my mother 20 years ago. 21 years ago this year. And there's some days I'm good, and there's some days I am not good at all. Same thing with my aunt. Some days I'm okay, some days I'm not. But I got a therapist, I got a psychiatrist, I have medication, and I have friends who hold me accountable, online and off, but also encourage me. And thank you for being patient with me as well, because I'm hard-headed. Okay? So I feel like you are weaponizing your mental illness against everyone else. You done tried Jesus. Jesus does save. But guess what? I'm saved and I still go to therapy too. But that does not mean because your mama died, okay, not because you have a mental illness, okay, not that you're divorced now because of your actions, that somehow that excuses your behavior. Yeah, that could be the cause of your behavior. But have you now seen the last, 4 or 5 weeks? What is the result of your behavior and how it's affecting other people? Because guess what? I'm also going to assume because you designed those clothes and those shoes, that means that needed to be workers in a building somewhere that were employed making those products for you. So now that nobody wants to buy them, somebody gonna have to get laid off their job. Yes, I do. I believe when he ran for president and he had that what do you call it? That rally in South Carolina, I was looking at that, I said, this is pure mania. And why are these people in this room listening to this man? And I kept wondering, I said, where his wife at? And then his wife got mad. Hey, I am human first. So glad you could be here. She had to go talk to him. I think after that, he went to Wyoming and she went to talk to him. Because, she's a lawyer and she's doing some projects, social projects. And she got the Keeping Up Kardashians. They had a picture of her and him in the car and she was crying. Tell her to talk to the man. Dave Chappelle came from his house. I think he lives in Ohio. Came out to Wyoming to check on him. That's what you call a friend. Like, you didn't have to do that. I've seen him go off on Chance the Rapper. John Legend one time tried to tell him, hey man, don't say this or that on Twitter. He put his friend on blast. I think some people have tried to hold him accountable, have been there for him. But sir, it looked like you either not listening to him or you're pushing him away. And now that you had your divorce is finalized, your wife had a boyfriend, they ain't even together no more. If you had any sense, you would be trying to get your wife and your kids back by going to therapy for yourself, and then say, "Hey, can we go to marriage counseling?" I mean, come on now. Because I give it, even though I don't really like Kim Kardashian like that, I give it to her. Because when you was going up in these churches and stuff, she didn't always dress, she was always oversized or whatever. She went with you. She was there. And because he's an entertainer, he's a genius, people are excusing that too. And because also we already know that Black men, they are discriminated against. They're perceived as, thugs. They're not always given their due. We are so much as a community, Black community, supporting him. But how can we keep making excuses for his behavior and make it seem all right? And then you want to get mad talking about, oh, he talked to Jewish people, and now he lost his job. They control Hollywood or whatever, the industry. And I'm just thinking like, well, the last time I checked, there was more African-American people than there was Jewish people, even around the world. There's more African-Americans here in the United States than there are Jewish people around the world. Most of the people I've seen on these Fortune 500 companies, Chase Bank included, they're white. And by the way, white people also say some of the same anti-Semitic things about Jewish people. They do that because it absolves them of, how mediocre they are. I can just say, oh, how Jewish people are. That's why they are up there and you're not. And we're repeating those same things that we've gotten from the same people who've oppressed us. Not all of the white people, but I'm just saying the same ones who subscribe to white supremacy. A lot of what he has been saying that has been anti-Semitic, which some people, they make a good point. Oh, he got canceled for the anti-Semitic things, but not for the anti-Black things. Guess what? Black people, we're partly at fault for that, because guess what? When he was saying anti-Black things about us, we didn't call him we didn't all collectively, okay, like the Jewish community, call his ass out about that. We were all okay when he said slavery was a choice. Shout out to the Black brother at TMZ that called him out for that. He actually lost his job. I hope he got a new job. I think he does have a new job. Is it the Young Turks now? No, I'm gonna find him. He probably out there. Yeah, this is what happened. Forgot he was Black. Like that movie about O.J. Simpson. Oh, I'm not Black, I'm O.J. Okay. And to me, I feel like Kanye West is like Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was the first Black heavyweight champion of, well, we said the world, but the United States. He openly dated, married white women in the 1920s. He won fights. He was the best. He funded his wealth, not only the Black community, but also in front of the white people. Not all the Black people were okay with him openly dating a white woman in public. One, because they did believe in Black first. Two, he was bringing a lot of undue attention to them. Everybody know all the Black people, Black men that was getting lynched down south just because someone thought that they disrespected or were dating or liked a white woman. Read Ida B. Wells' Horrors of Lynching. Okay? Thank you. Slavery was a choice. I'm sorry, when he said slavery was a choice, y'all, I got me like this little, I can say imaginary list of people that I have muted for like about 10 years. Oh wow, really? The algorithm got you here? See, Lindsay, I understand that, but I guess for me, as someone who studies history and I teach it, saying that and knowing that my students listen to him and they just gravitate to that sound bite, it is like, oh Lord, I gotta go in here and unravel the stuff that he said, you know, because they all think, oh yeah, slavery was a choice. Let me tell you something, okay? I tell my students this when it comes to, well, I teach about Native Americans, and I think it also applies to African Americans too. You have choices in how you deal with things as an individual and as a community. Okay? Trade, I would say trade, war, diplomacy. Okay? So if you're Africans in the 16, 17, 1800s, and you're brought over from West Africa to a whole nother continent, a whole other ocean away, what are you going to do to survive physically, mentally, socially, and culturally? There are different ways to rebel. Okay. And also, there is a difference between being a slave and being enslaved. If you ever notice now, a lot of books will say enslaved people, enslaved Black people are enslaved, because you can be to others in a state of slavery, but not be slave here. Understand? So for some Black people who are slaves or enslaved people at the time, they cooperated because of fear of being punished. Also because they saw what happened when you get rewarded. Also because they didn't want their children to be separated from them or their spouse. Okay? They feared for their lives. So if you're saying it's a choice, the choice was survival. Right? But did they really have a choice when someone holds you in bondage? Okay, you are treated like property to go anywhere and everywhere with the master. Their lives, the rate of your breathing is in charge of them. There are no laws for killing your slave, but if your neighbor killed your slave, you had to pay up for that. Okay, and yeah, sex trafficking, human trafficking, another word for slavery. Thank you. And also, enslaved people, African people, found other ways to maintain their culture, because after 1808, there were less Africans coming to the Americas. Some of that got a lot more that got lost, but some of that did get maintained. That's why if you look at the Caribbean and South America, they still have more and more Africans coming to those places after 1808. That's why they have such a heavy and African presence in their culture, in addition to Spanish native or Portuguese and native in Latin America. If you look at Louisiana, okay, having a very French and also a very African culture. Okay, some of it has been maintained. Look at the Sea Islands with the Gullah Islands. The islands, there are Africans there, because they were on the islands, they were able to maintain a much more of their African culture. They speak Gullah on the Sea Islands off of Georgia, versus the other Africans or people of African descent in Georgia. Okay, at a respective angle. Right, right. Exactly. Please hit like, share, subscribe. And so, like I said, for me, it was Slave was choice. So I put him on my list of people like, okay, I'm not listening to them anymore. Because, for example, John Wayne is on my list. I love John Wayne movies. We're watching them. But then I read about what he said in an interview. I think it was Playboy, about Black people. And then he tried to grab, what's her name? Sasha Feather, who Marlon Brando had her accept his award, I think, for Best Actor in 1972 for The Godfather. She's an activist. Laura Russell, so she just recently passed away at 70 something, I think. And they had to hold him back because he tried to go grab her off of the stage, like she shouldn't be there. And I said, okay, guess I'm not watching no more John Wayne films. I haven't. I mean, I just feel guilty every time I say, like, I can't believe this man right here. Love John Wayne movies. Okay. After, what's his name? After Mel Gibson was on that video talking about his baby mama, his second, well, after he divorced his first wife, he had a girlfriend. They were going through it, and he threatened her and said, I hope you get raped by some N-words. And he said some other things too. And I think he's also said some anti-Semitic things too. And like, nobody in Hollywood touched him for a very long time. You just started seeing less and less A movies, a couple of B movies, straight to DVD. And then slowly, I think after 10 years, I wasn't watching any Mel Gibson. The only one, I was taking it back. The only Mel Gibson movie I watched is because it's a historical film, and I put it on my historical film list for my students, is The Patriot. Because I'm talking about the American Revolutionary War. I love Lethal Weapon. Do you know how many times I saw Lethal Weapon on TV and I had to turn the channel? And I was so sad for doing that. I was so happy when my 10 years was up with him, and I saw him in Daddy's was it Daddy's Girl? Oh, Daddy's Home too. And I said, is it oh, I'm sorry, the second movie. I'm sorry, two movies, because he's a good actor. He's a good director too. The Patriot and Apocalypto, because I talk about Native American life before the Europeans get here. So I told those two movies, because for historical context. When you get the movie in, I'm just like, okay, I can't watch it. Jewish people and white gays, white LGBTQ. Yeah. And I think mostly because Jewish people do a really good job as a community, and also they've been helped since the end of the Holocaust. Also, their atrocities we did not take part in. It was happening in another country, so I think it's different when the United States is like, when it comes to Black atrocities, because like the ancestors here were probably involved in it. But I also think, campaigning, lobbying, as they should. We should too, for protections. Okay. But getting back to what I was saying, when I saw that and I kept looking at, I Googled him. I was like, okay, has he said anything since the last time? And I thought, okay, I haven't seen nothing else he done said crazy since then, so I could take him off the list. So I took Mel Gibson off the list. But guess who I added to the list? Kanye West, Mr. Slavery Was a Choice. Okay? I love Jesus Walks. I say probably the song that I just played, which I played for effect, because it says, I love the old Kanye, because I love the old Kanye. Gold Digger and Jesus Walks. I have a hard time telling, Lord, I banned Kanye West, so I can't listen to your gospel song about you. I don't think the Lord is going to be happy with that. So those two songs, that's it. Did I stream anything new? Now, this is what I did do. Okay. All right. I did do this. So, Lord, please forgive me. When he did that Sunday church and was doing the gospel album, and he was out there in the desert or whatever he was, and he was doing the Sunday service or whatever, I did not stream that album. I did not listen to it. You ain't gonna tell me slavery is a choice, and then you want the one group of people who was enslaved in this country, their descendants, to listen to gospel music, and Lord, we love Jesus. Everyone can say, "Oh, it's really good, miss. It's really good, my friend. Oh, it's really good." I could listen to Kirk Franklin. He's been doing that since the 90s. Silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus. He been doing. I can listen to Snoop Dogg's gospel album. By the way, it was great. Okay. Okay. You out here running for president. You going to the White House. Yeah, you stayed on the list. You still on the list. You still on the list. Okay, still on the list. The most recent one I added to the list is Roseanne Barr. I love that new show, The Connors. I was all for it. And then she went and messed it up. And then everybody lost their job. And I was like, I can't believe. And then Monique gonna come out here, gonna defend her. But then Monique gonna tell us, oh, don't wear your bonnet outside. Respect yourself. You're over there supporting the racist. The Connors has a black DJ got a black wife and a black child. You make comments with a black woman on Twitter. Then you try to blame it on your medicine. Amber said, we ain't got nothing to do with you being racist. And by the way, she has said some very anti-Semitic things on her Twitter. And guess what? She's Jewish. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? So I got John Wayne. I got Roseanne Barr. I got Kanye West. This is my other one. This is for Rick Schroeder. I grew up watching Silver Spoons. I watched that movie he was in when he was a little kid. Right? I watched when he was on Scrubs. I watched when he was in Lonesome Dove. Oh my goodness, I'm from Texas. I love Lonesome Dove. Love Lonesome Dove miniseries. I think he was also on NYPD Blue. I was supporting him. Then he gonna come out here and make bail for a man that shot some protesters at a Black Lives Matter rally. And he gonna say, well, when I saw him, he looked like he could be one of my sons. Sir, he is not even from the state where he did this incident in. He got the gun from his parents. He was protecting property, not people. He paid that boy's bill so he can go sit down at home. I said, okay. Ricky going on the list. Ricky still gonna be on the list. I think this is year 2 for him. He got 8 more years, I think. We'll see if he's still doing some crazy stuff. Mm-mm. Oh, one more person I think is on the list. I'm trying to give him a chance. Hulk Hogan, because he was on video saying something about his he wanted his daughter. Well, he said he did. I guess he didn't want his daughter to date a N word. He said, well, at least she could date a rich N word, like an NBA player. And I was like, okay. So he got his stuff. You know, they told him to go sit down. You can't host no more WWE, WWF. You know. That's 5. Oh, the guy from the Jerry Seinfeld show. The one that was talking about, he was doing the conversation, we were hanging out 50 years ago. I was like, what the hell is he doing? I love Frasier. What's his name? What was that, Frasier? I love The Neighbor Next Door and Jerry Seinfeld. Can't watch it. But anyway, Kanye on the list. Just Kramer. I'm sorry, yeah. Not Frasier. Not Frasier. Kramer. Thank you. Kramer, next door neighbor. He always came in one way, like he was. So. Oh, and then there was that one. Then I think back about it. There was this one episode that was kind of weird, where he was dating a black girl, and then he tanned, and he came out kind of like in blackface, and I was like, that made me uncomfortable. No, I did not. Hey, Conundrum, how you doing? I see you. Hey. How you doing? I'm glad you could be here. So, I'm tired, y'all. So, I'm gonna, I found this video. Let me go get it for y'all. Let me go. No. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm trying to find the. I think this is it. Okay. So, do y'all have y'all drink your popcorn? Cause I can't watch. I saw snippets of it earlier. I'm sorry, but I made a mistake. But I put a comment on your channel that I fixed it like over a week ago. I was like, hey, I fixed it. Okay. All right. So. Okay, for some reason it's not letting me do something. Why is it not letting me do this? Oh, try to come on now. Okay. 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 Go. All right. I'm also gonna find you that article as well. Okay, I'm glad we're good now. Okay. All right. Can everyone see me, hear me? Good. I'm gonna mute myself, and I'll just let you know I have to do commentary in order to show this. Okay. All right. And okay. Let me put this. is it? This video is protected by Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research.
Who you voting for?
You. 100%. You. Let's go, baby.
I'll see you guys soon.
Oh no, he got it back.
Gianna Gracie, what did you play?
How you doing, Kanye?
How you feeling after this week?
How you feeling, brother?
I feel good.
You look great.
Thank you very much, sir.
You look great, my girl.
Thank you,
Do
Kanye.
you want to talk about anything, Kanye? I mean, do you think you're being unfairly targeted for the comments that you've been making?
You feel like it's unfair?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I mean, anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
But you know, it's really interesting. I didn't realize.
Shout out to the reporter. Shout out to the reporter who says, yeah, not saying anything. It's not good for anybody. The same as, being anti-black. Hello. Yes.
That I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like a analytical line. What was that? All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type of wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statement?
Nigga, no, you didn't. I'm sorry. I shouldn't using that word. No, he did not. He said, I didn't know it was anti-Semitic to say. That's because that's not what you said, sir. You was on the internet and you said on Twitter, once I get up from this now, or once I get up, it's going to be DEFCON 3 to Jews in the morning. Sir, that's anti-Semitic. Then I believe you said that black people were the real ones. You didn't say, oh, I got a Jewish lawyer, I got a Jewish representative. You didn't. That's not what you said. Don't lay down. Makes me so mad.
Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering.
What do you mean walking back?
Well, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu,
Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said?
Either he Googled that or someone sent that to him. But this is the thing though, like I knew about DreamWorks because Steven Spielberg, who is Jewish, him and the other guy, his friend, they're Jewish. Like I knew that. Metro Goldwyn Mayer, at the time when the early movies, the other executives were white. He was like the only Jewish one. So this is the thing he's saying, like, you just said in your definition that it's a worldwide Jewish, me and the saying there's a worldwide Jewish conspiracy, but then you brought this to show us that it's a conspiracy? Did you know Goldie Hawn is Jewish? I didn't know. Just look like a white lady to me. The only person, I know that there are Jewish actors, but my thing is this: if there were so many executives who are Jewish, how come we don't have more Jewish lawmakers or senators? Because I think Joe Lieberman is the only one that I know who was a Jewish senator recently, and I think he's not in the Senate anymore. I know one Jewish, maybe 2 Supreme Court justices that were Jewish. No, Whoopi Goldberg, that's just a stage name. Sammy Davis Jr. actually converted to, he's a Jewish. There are actually Black people, not Hebrew Israelites, Black people who converted to Judaism. Oh, her mama wanted, she told her mom she wanted to name herself Whoopi Cushion. And her mama said, no, not Whoopi Cushion. Call yourself Whoopi Goldberg. And that's what she did. Like, but I thought about something like, aren't there a lot of Black record executives too, or Black executives at these companies too? So is that what white people, do they have their own thing like that for us? Because isn't Hulu, do Home Discovery, isn't Oprah on the board now? Like, should we have more, Jewish policemen, mayors, and stuff? But the executives, that's okay. And by the way, how did they know that? How did they know that? Like, how did y'all, who's researching that? Because some people, their last name is just that. It doesn't mean that it actually is. I'm just, I can't with him. Y'all, okay.
Well, what I said is, hey, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs. And I feel like right now, I feel like that was in Christianity, we don't say karma. We say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this is God humbling me right now, because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. To say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money. And
Okay. Okay. Okay.
but that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that, because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So
sir, what you are realizing is that, yes, we live in a free country, and yes, having your millions of dollars and entertainer and having a clothing line and all the endorsements and stuff, it helps you to go to certain spaces. It doesn't mean that you don't have that the things you say doesn't cost. Okay? Someone said freedom isn't free. Wait, what kind of GIF do you want to use? Oh, okay. You said title of African American celebs that are Jews is 69, and the list is shocking. Oh, okay. I believe it. It's come on, I'm just proving. Sorry, you are proving it because you are intentionally gaslighting Black folks and Jewish people. And them executives, when you say, oh, I dare Adidas to take my, and that's what they did. And you kept talking and everybody kept taking from me. Go lay down.
When I went to the mediation, what I want to say is, like, Black people are like, okay, Lex Friedman got you to apologize. Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now, the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a Black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack, and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right? When let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea of Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now afterwards, yes, there were some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened, but the general feeling. So when I said that, and I questioned the.
I'm going to say this again. There are local Black Lives Matter chapters who do things in their community, who do the real work. They did not get none of that $90 million that the founders did. They were not all pushing Black people to the Democratic Party, but they were pushing Black people to exercise their right to vote. They were pushing for changes at the local, state, and national levels. They were calling out the police violence against Black people. It wasn't just a feeling.
The death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the Black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them, because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now.
That is true. Houston has two. One is aligned kind of with the national one. The other is not. Both of them still didn't get nothing right here. And there are other Black Lives Matter groups that don't have Black Lives Matter in their name. Baltimore has one called Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle, who are doing really great things in the community. They formed after the murder or the death of Freddie Gray. So, did he just say what I just thought he said? Y'all, we only 6 minutes and 44 seconds into this. It's 10 more minutes of this. I don't. Nigga, you alive. George Floyd is dead. And you talking about they working through Adidas and the media, and now I know what it feels like. You alive and talking. Still disrespectful to Black people and especially to that family. I am here first. Hey, I'm human first. Me, you, and respective angle. We need to do a video about the accuser, Larry suing the accuser. And also, like, what is the thing with Keela and Jives? I need some Cliff Note version. What's going on? But anyway, dude, you're alive. And the Black people who are still supporting this foolishness, he's not our leader. He's not trying to help us. He may not have $1 billion status anymore, but he still got $1 million status.
So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest Black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of?
I read something on Facebook today that said humble brag, HUMBLE, humble brag. It's when you say something negative about yourself, but you really are saying it in a positive way. You really like it. Did he just say how God humbled me other than to be made? What did he say? How God humbled the humbled me and I'm the richest Black man ever. Did you just
everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah.
I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How?
Well,
Stop.
I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God.
Someone was being funny. They said, "How, Sway?" For those of you don't know, Kanye did a interview with Sway, who used to, I think he's on the radio, but he also used to do MTV. And they said, and one of Sway asked him a question, and he said, "How, Sway?" So it's come like a meme or joke or whatever. So someone at the back was like, "How, Sway?" Thank you. Like, come on, right? Okay, cool. Y'all want to do it Tuesday or do y'all want to do it Thursday?
God is alive. God runs the world. You know, God even runs Hollywood. God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the.
Did he say God is using him for a time like this? Isn't it a common expression for people who are like, God is using me to move my. Don't people in church say that? Doesn't that sound a little like Umar Johnson? Like, I'm the greatest. I'm this, I'm that. The ancestors destined me. God destined me. I'm like, sir, bless you.
For the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes when I had the Red October. And my girlfriend at the time was pregnant and I needed to get some money because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat. Right. When the like Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? Right. But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political opinion as an American, that I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. Mm-hmm. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor that diagnosed me of having.
Okay, did he just say again, he knows what it's like to have something on his neck? You alive. Yeah, you got humbled. You got checked. You got held accountable for your actions, for the words that come out of your mouth. And then he said, oh, I'm not going to say what hospital. I'm not going to say the race of the doctor. Then you just saying it. My pediatrician was Jewish. I also had a black doctor too. Getting on my nerves. See, you still
having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I...
You mean the medication you need right now? See, that's why you got money and you go for follow-ups. You go, like, they got black doctors, white doctors, Chicano doctors, Asian doctors, women doctors. And you know his story. This is why I got a problem too. He's gaslighting Jewish people. You know that Germans historically were persecuting Jews. Why would you say that, man? Who is your publicist? Thank you. LH2K presents. Exactly. Shoot. But then again, according to Farrakhan, there were Jewish people involved in the slave trade. But guess what? There so was Muslims. And so were other Africans. Most of the people involved in the slave trade who brought us over here were white Europeans. Okay? Oh my goodness.
I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you did not invoke the king and the prince. Talking about like one pill was switched out. I could be like Michael Jackson and excuse me. Michael Jackson died because his doctor didn't watch him. He died from what? Propofol overdose, basically. Prince was suffering from an opiate addiction and died because of an opiate addiction. He had pills that really wasn't for him. And unfortunately, a doctor that could help him get off of it was consulted at the last minute. Sir, opiates, propofol, it's not the same as psychiatric medicine. Have you ever heard of anybody, dying or overdosing from psychiatric drugs? Exactly, Andrea. Right. In addiction. He's into. Thank you very much. You know, by the way, you do know in the past, Kanye said that he was Prince and Justin Timberlake was Michael Jackson. I should have knew then when he said that years ago. Oh, you don't remember CeeLo Green gave that woman ecstasy? He was on trial or he was arrested for rape, sexual assault, right? Or did he say something else?
But because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently.
Okay, y'all. All right. Did everybody hear that? So nobody can say, oh, it's because he got a mental illness. Oh, it's because his mama died. We have finally heard it. He is not seeing a doctor. He is not on no medication. He has refused his diagnosis and he has refused his medicine. Do we all understand now that this, not accountable for his actions and refusing to take his medicine? Now you ain't clear, but what I did hear clearly was you ain't taking your medicine, man, and you refuse a diagnosis by a doctor. And this is the thing. If you had a problem with a Jewish doctor, you could have got a second opinion from another doctor of the same color. Now you out here think you sounding clear, but in words you sounding confused. Thank you, LSD gave me clear my ass. Too. I'm tired of y'all calling out Drink Champs for pulling that episode with him. Because I feel like it took courage for what they did. Because when that clip came out about what he said about George Floyd, there were some black folks that was outraged and upset. And Nori figured it out like, okay, we're not going to air it and we're not going to put it on Revolt TV. Other people still aired it anyway. Everyone was like, oh, they didn't support. There was support. No, they did the right thing. They are Revolt TV. They are a podcast. They cannot afford no lawsuit from the George Floyd family. They can't afford no lawsuit from anybody else who's offended by anti-Semitic remarks made by him. Did you not understand what happened with Alex Jones telling everybody that Sandy Hook was a hoax? LMSYT presents you. Hold on, we're at 9:32. Hold on, let's go back. Okay.
Black people are like, okay, Lex Friedman got you to apologize. Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now, the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a Black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack, and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right? When let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea of Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now afterwards, yes, there were some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened, but the general feeling. So when I said that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the Black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them, because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now.
That's the apology SUK presents. You heard it? I had to rewind to go back to it so you can hear it. Did you hear that? Exactly. But we heard he's refusing his diagnosis and he's not taking his medicine. We don't.
Able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat, the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money if people could come up and just pinch you?
But don't you think having influence, you have a responsibility?
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right here.
Don't you think
that's why you asked that question?
But don't you think it's dangerous rhetoric to be anti-Semitic, to say all lives matter or white lives matter? Well, I'm asking.
No, saying white lives matter, anti-Semitic. That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's anti-Semitic.
No, you just said that though.
No, and I misspoke. But I'm saying
no, you didn't. That was a Freudian slip.
I'm trying to correct myself.
Okay, correct yourself.
To walk around with
do you want to walk back that statement?
Exactly. Sure, I will.
You got the chance to walk back that statement.
Do you think maybe that?
No, wait a second. He's gonna walk back.
But I'm saying you're wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. And Black Lives Matter, and a lot of people
I feel like drinking.
You're being anti-Black by saying
no. How?
What?
Yes.
In America, Black people don't take all the rights that we have that are actually given to us, because we weren't given what we were promised in the first place, which was the 40 acres. Instead, we were given and a mule. Instead, we were given projects and bad food and posters of Oprah Winfrey, and also Planned Parenthood. People said to me multiple times, visit.
Right, Andriana. Girl, did he just say Oprah? Okay, by the way, let me talk about the whole 40 acres and the mule. That was an executive. That was an order by one of the Union generals when he came to one of the areas. I believe it was Georgia, or it may have been Mississippi. And when he got there, he divided up. He basically took. He took the land from the plantation owners and he divided it up amongst the newly freedmen, and everyone was supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. Unfortunately, they did not get to keep that land because once the Confederacy came back into the Union, and then a lot of the Confederates were getting pardons by Andrew Johnson, they were able to get their land back. And so that's why they said, oh, we were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule and we didn't get it. Yeah, but it wasn't for all the Black people. It was just those in that area. But I think as time went on, it has symbolized like, yeah, we didn't get 40 acres and a mule. But I just want y'all to understand that at the time it was supposed to be, for that area. But I just, history teacher me. I am him at first stop. Did you just say, he said, oh, we had a picture of Oprah. Dude. Don't bring Oprah into this, dude. Respect the you don't want to. You got to rewind this. You got to rewind. Okay, he about to go into Planned Parenthood, and some of y'all know what I've said about Planned Parenthood, but he's about to repeat some things that a lot of white pro-lifers say to get Black people to be against Planned Parenthood. Some of it's true, but some of it is twisted, and I will clarify.
And posters of Oprah Winfrey, and also Planned Parenthood. People said to me multiple times, visit the Holocaust Museum. I said, visit our Holocaust Museum. It's called Planned Parenthood. 6 million.
Did he say visit our Holocaust Museum? Planned Parenthood. A lot of this stuff is what MAGA people say. A lot of this stuff is just, yes, he is drunk that Kool-Aid. It wasn't red, it was grape.
Million Jews died in the Holocaust, and I am sorry for your losses. 20 million Blacks died to abortion, and Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger with the real KKK as population control. Margaret Sanger is a eugenics and is working today. The #1 cause of death for Black people in America is abortion. The most dangerous place.
Okay, everyone, let's just say this. Margaret Sanger was an OBGYN nurse, and she saw a lot of women, especially lower class migrant working women, who did not know about certain types of birth control, like the upper middle class, mostly white women. A lot of the upper middle class women had 2 or 3 kids, and that's it. But they had access and they had money. The lower class women, they were like 9, 10 kids. They worked inside the home, outside the home. Some of these women were really, overwhelmed. Okay. Also, she was seeing a lot of syphilis and STDs. And so she was like, oh, they just need to be educated about the different ways of not getting pregnant or being safe. So she started Planned Parenthood. And most of the time it was education, like passing out pamphlets. She even got arrested a couple of times because they're like, oh, it's pornography, it's rude. She went around to different organizations, Black churches, Black communities, including the KKK and other groups, to get them to let them talk or give the information to the women in their communities. So when people see the video, the photograph of Margaret Sanger with the KKK, and they're like, "Oh, see, she was with the KKK." Yeah, she was, but that's not the only picture out there with her, with people trying to give them literature. So, she was pro eugenics, which actually put her at odds with other women who were also in support of Planned Parenthood. And so, what ended up happening later on, like going into the 50s and 60s, I want to say her organization, let me get this right. It formed with like the British, it was somewhere they had a conference or something, and they formed with one group, and then they like splintered, and then they like lost a lot of support, and then like Planned Parenthood came back, but it was like a clinic. And so she was still, because she was the first one to like the idea, she was like still like, I guess you say, the face. And so since the second, I guess you say, phase of the Planned Parenthood, it's been a clinic, but it's not an abortion clinic. It gives information about birth control, the different types of birth control, including natural family planning. Okay. And abortion services is 1% of their 1% of the service they give. They also do mammograms and pap smears, and men can also go to there to get service. They also give out condoms. And men can go and get information too, and also support their spouse or partner, right? Or sister, or whoever. So him talking about, hold on, that abortion is number one. Okay, let me look at this. Is the most common way Black should I say cause of Black people dying. Okay. 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 Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, I'm looking at non-Hispanic Black males. The number one death is heart disease, and number two is cancer. Yeah, that's just males. Okay, let's look at they got females. That's 2017. Where's one for this year? I don't see abortion nowhere on this list now. Let me look at okay now. People. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay. Okay, I'm looking at the Okay, so this one is a report from, oh, it's old though. I'm seeing the 3 leading causes of death. Heart cancer, HIV, infection, AIDS. That's among men. The condition is the same for African American females, except stroke replaces HIV and infection. I don't see abortion on here. Okay. All right. I'm Human First. Did you get it? I don't respect that. I don't know if you were here early when I said to I'm Human First. I said me, you, and him. I think we should do a live about Larry Reed suing the accuser. Yeah, they always going after that. And then what's the Herschel Walker up here giving out 2 abortions, paying for abortion? No, paying for 1 abortion. Then the second one he taking her there. And then I remember it was one white Republican, his whatchamacallit, his mistress, Mr. Pro Family, got pregnant. He told her to get an abortion. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought y'all was pro family. What happened? Like,
for a black man today, or black baby, black woman, is in their mother's stomach. And that is a programming that's pushed through. I got a new word for 2024. The red media. That is the red media. If you go to Apple right now, go to Apple Music. Let's load up the top 10 songs.
I thought he said he didn't know he was saying anti-Semitic things, but isn't he still saying anti-Semitic things? He's calling it the red media.
I guarantee you they're promoting black serial killing.
Absolutely.
Not just one. They're promoting the red media is making money off of blacks being serial killers to each other. Also misogynistic. The red media is making money off of that. And God sees it. But I understand, and I'm not judging because the oppressed becomes the oppressor. And it is our time now. Blacks are coming into money. We are not scared anymore. And I showed you that I crossed that line. They tried to bankrupt me. They tried to say,
you crossed the line. You ain't the only one that's black and rich out here. Oprah Winfrey was the first black billionaire in the United States. I think she still got her status, unlike you. Like all the football players, basketball players, the Obamas, politicians, people who wrote books, black folks who won the lottery. You the only one that made it over, huh?
I was crazy and I'm alive. We haven't had a full black community since the gentrification of Harlem and Black Wall Street, which was torn down. But I know my brothers, my engineers, my architects, my farmers are going to rise up. And if it meant they had to take me and drag me like imitate.
Please, God. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. So now he's worried about black engineers, black farmers. What you doing to help the black farmers? Because right now they're being undercut by the United States. Are you going to help them? Oh, they gentrified Harlem. They gentrified a lot of other places too. Not just Harlem. Ain't you from Chicago? He about to say it. I know he about to say it. No, they trying to get an Emmett Till. Didn't the Emmett Till lynching bill just get passed a few months ago? Dude, you keep relating yourself. Oh, they're still on your name like George Floyd. Oh, they're like treating you like Emmett Till. Baby, they are dead. They are not here. You are blessed to be here. But you popping your collar and your soul is too much.
my farmers are going to rise up. And if it meant they had to take me and drag me like Emmett Till in front of everyone because I whistled, I know my brother. Others, and I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared.
And you know who's to blame for that? You. How dare you say you willing to be drugged like Emmett Till? Like you're some type of savior for Black people? Using your own words, you don't care about Black people. And does he have a 2024 hat on? Fix it, Jesus. You say they took his family away, took it. No, you did that. Your big mouth, your behavior, refusing diagnosis, refusing to take your medicine. You did that. Nobody else. You aren't to blame, sir. Get your life together.
So let's close with a prayer. Father God, thank you. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for the voice. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the experience. And thank you for the love. Because even though the real hate is what's happening on the media, and the idea of DEF CON was to get protected for a time like this, let's lead with love. I have no association to any hate group. If any hate happens upon any Jewish person, it is not associated, because I am demanding that everyone walk in love. Even though there's been things that have happened wrong to me that made me want to speak up, that you guys saw in the past 2 weeks. You saw the power. You saw Ari Emanuel come out in public and ask, if that happened in public, what do you think happened in private? And what do you think happened in private to so many people for so many years? But what I'm telling everyone, no matter what background you are, no matter what socioeconomic class you are, walk with love right now. Do what God would want. What would Jesus do? Walk with love, spread happiness.
Isn't love a verb? Love is kindness. Like, I still don't understand how DEF CON 3 equals love. Wow. And I'm sorry. He ended this with a prayer. I love the Lord. Y'all know I love the Lord. Thank you. Way more services. That's what I was saying. I love the Lord, and I do believe in prayer, but I don't know if I want to be participating in a prayer by someone who is him right here. Because my discernment is saying that prayer is, I don't know. Somebody, I was gonna say, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna go there. Let me finish.
Yes. I thought that I wasn't gonna be like MLK and stand there. There's times I felt very Malcolm X, but for some reason, God.
Did he just malign Martin Luther King and say, I was just gonna stand there? Did you not notice? He was assassinated, murdered, led marches, got jailed, Birmingham jail, had his house bombed, got attacked. People got mad at him when he started speaking out against the Vietnam War. Wanted him to stick to social, civil rights issues. Really just had meetings with President Lyndon B. Johnson to get legislation passed. Okay, all right. I'm just, You want to get your Malcolm X on? By the way, he was assassinated, murdered too. You're exactly. He everybody. He is every man.
God has called me to love and to ask for love for everyone. It's time for us just to love, because love is the answer. It is the only way. Gandhi said, someone who was actually considered to be a racist, right? Gandhi said,
I have since found out Gandhi was racist. He, even though he did preach nonviolence, he did help, his people to become independent. There's some other stuff that has come out that also Gandhi was probably he like yes, yeah. He was this, and he had some very anti-Black and racist thing to say about Africans. So you're not.
An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Jesus, Father God, spread the love. Put the love in our heart.
Hold on, wait a minute. I thought the prayer was over. He's still praying? Or is this a new prayer? See? No. Did. Yo, and he was still praying this whole time? And then he stopped like 2 minutes ago. Am I confused?
Hearts, and know that we are not each other's enemy, but we're all children of you. And you can bring this world to a peaceful place on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Kanye.
We love you. I'm done with my energy's done.
Thank you, Kanye.
I will say this. This is my prayer. Lord, please fill your Holy Spirit on Kanye West, because he needs some wisdom and some guidance to get some real help. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm sorry. I put the article or the video if you want to go back and watch without my commentary. Thank you for watching it with me. Thank you for being with me over an hour and a half. I'm going to put both those links, other link too. It was a really good article from this one right here. Because it talks about and I'm glad about him being anti-Black. And my thing was, I'm glad that there were some reporters who mentioned him being anti-Black as well. Like, come on. Oh, Jesus. Okay, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you, Andriana and Andriana Thornton. Okay, I am Human First, The Respective Angle. LSUK presents Conundrum, Lindsay, DSA1, Black Anonymous. Thank you so much. Teacher Preacher, I'm so glad that you're here. Miss LB, I'm so happy for you to be here. Shout out to those of you who will be watching this with the replay. So talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Good night. I miss the old Kanye.